Welcome back to chapters 47 and 48, the last two chapters. Before we started, Iris was writing about what happened in chapter 46 and 45. You want to show them? Nice and loud.
This part.
Okay.
Let me read it.
Really loud.
It says, the weird part was when they had to pull off the ball in Dragon's head. And the cool part is there's another dragon. And I am happy that Minli, I haven't finished it, but I was going to write Minli gets home.
I'm happy that she gets home too.
Yes.
Chapter 47. Look at that embrace of the family.
Let me see.
Minli, Minli! Ma and Ba's happiness burst from them like exploding firecrackers, and even before she could open her eyes, they had flung themselves upon her. The joy, how it flowed and flooded over her. More golden than the king's dragon bracelet, sweeter than a peach from the queen mother's garden, and more beautiful than a goddess of heaven, Minli smiled, treasuring her good fortune. Ma and Ba only stopped hugging her when her stomach began to rumble with hunger. Ma rushed to make a special breakfast, taking out the carefully saved dried pork to make Minli's favorite porridge, while Ba jumped to get some fresh water to make tea. But when Ba went into the main room, he made a choking noise that caused Minli and Ma to come running. "What is that?" he said, pointing. Minli followed his finger and saw him pointing at her traveling possessions on the table. The fish swam merrily around in its bowl as the silk of her brocade bag made the sunlight skip around the room. "That is a bag given to me by the king of the city of bright moonlight," Minli said. "It is very fine, isn't it?" "Not that," Boss said, waving the bag away. "That!" And now Minli saw that he was pointing to Dragon's stone ball. "It's just a gift from a friend," Minli said, handing it to her father. Ba took it in his hands reverently, a look of awe on his face. "This is not just any gift," Ba whispered, and he took his sleeve and gently rubbed the surface of the stone. To Minli's great surprise, the grayness of the stone began to smudge away and a translucent, lustrous glow seemed to shine through. "This is a dragon's pearl." Minli and Ma stared. "A dragon's pearl?" Ma said slowly. She sat down and looked at Minli. "A dragon's pearl is worth the emperor's entire fortune." Minli opened her mouth, but before any words could come out, there was a great shouting and clamoring outside on the street. Ba quickly but carefully put the dragon pearl back on the table before they all hurried out to see what the uproar was about. "What is it?" Ma asked, grabbing a neighbor. The entire village had flowed onto the street, talking and shouting like a flock of birds discovering a feast. "What's happening?" "It's Fruitless Mountain! Fruitless Mountain has turned green!" "What?" Boss said. It's true, another neighbor chimed in. "Fruitless Mountain is no longer fruitless, and the Jade River is clear and fresh, too." Minli, Ma, and Ba looked at the mountain, and it was true. Fruitless Mountain was no longer a black shadow above them. As the day dawned, the mountain had transformed. A green lushness seemed to bloom from the rock. A jewel-colored splendor softened the sharp edges that had painfully sliced the sky. The sky itself seemed to be embracing the mountain. The wind softly caressed the newborn greenery with a nurturing breeze and skimmed the Jade River, the water now as clear as tears of joy. "How is this possible?" Ma asked. "Jade Dragon must be happy again," Ba said. "Perhaps she is reunited with one of her dragon children." Dragon, Minli thought, and her quick-thinking mind seemed to spin. Dragon said he was making his home on Fruitless Mountain. Could he be one of Jade Dragon's children? But how? Dragon was born from a painting, from paintbrushes and ink stones. And like an echo, Minli remembered Ma talking about the artist who had come to Fruitless Mountain many years ago. He took the mountain rock to carve into inking stones. Perhaps Dragon was born from an inkstone made of Fruitless Mountain, the heart of Jade Dragon. Then perhaps he was one of Dragon's children. And by bringing him to Fruitless Mountain, Minli had discovered how to make Fruitless Mountain green again. "Minli!" A villager finally recovered from the shock of the green mountain, staring at Minli. "You came back! Look, everyone! Minli has returned!" As the neighbors clamored around, Ma sighed, but it was a sigh of joy, a sound of happiness that floated like a butterfly in the air. Good fortune has come to the village, Ma said, smiling. And to us as well. Yes, Boss said, looking affectionately at Minley. But the best fortune is that one that returned. Minley smiled back, and suddenly, as she thought about her journey to and from Neverending Mountain, Minley realized that while she had not asked the Old Man of the Moon any of her questions, they had all been answered. Last but not least, chapter 48. The goldfish man shaded his eyes as he pushed his cart along the Jade River. Yes, he was almost there. How long had it been? 2 years? Perhaps 3? Yes, the poor village of Fruitless Mountain should be ahead soon, he thought. But possibly he was mistaken. When he had been there last, the most striking characteristic of the landscape had been the black mountain, its shadow casting gloom upon the village, but there was no dark silhouette in the sky. In fact, the landscape looked as if it were from a heavenly painting. A majestic green mountain sat in harmony with the deepening blue sky, the sun spreading its light for the last time before it set. Had he taken a wrong turn somewhere? As he gazed, 2 flying figures in the sky caught his eye, red and orange, a dragon and his mate frolicking amongst the clouds. Wait, dragons? The goldfish man shook his head in disbelief, rubbed his eyes, and looked again. Only the dimming sky and feathery clouds fanning the wind were above. I must have been imagining things, he thought. The goldfish man pushed onward. The water in the fishbowls rippled in waves as the fish gazed calmly. Their brilliant colors against the abundant green land glinted like gold and jade. As he entered the village, the goldfish man again began to doubt if he was in the right place. Smooth stone lined the roadway, and instead of rough board houses, he remembered, rich wooden doors, some elaborately carved, lined the street. As he pushed his cart down the narrow street, lively children dressed in gay colors flew toward him like a festival of silk kites. Goldfish, goldfish, they cried. Ma, ba, can we get one? Parents walked over and smiled indulgently at their children, and by the time the sun disappeared, the goldfish man had sold out of his wares. Clearly, this was not the same poor village he had come to before, where only that one girl purchased a fish. But then he remembered hearing a story about how a family that lived by the Jade River had given the king of the city of bright moonlight the incredible gift of a dragon pearl. Refusing any payment and gratitude, the king presented the entire village with gifts of seeds and farming equipment that brought more prosperity than any reward of gold and jade. Maybe this was the place. Little one, the goldfish man asked a younger girl dressed in a peony pink silk jacket and leafy green pantaloons. The last time I was here, the last time I came to the village of Fruitless Mountain, a child ran away from home. What happened to her? Ran away from home? The girl looked at him in disbelief, as if the idea was foreign. Then she nodded. Oh, you must mean Minley. That's when this used to be called the village of Fruitless Mountain. Now it's called the village of Fruitful Mountain. Yes, Minley, the goldfish man said. I think that was her name. What happened to her? She and her family live over there, the girl waved at her arm. They built a courtyard in front and in back of their house. It's behind the gate with the pictures of the lucky children on the door. The goldfish man wheeled his empty cart to the indicated gate. On each half of the crimson doors hung a painting of a round-faced, laughing child dressed in brilliant red. Their pink cheeks and merry smiles made it impossible not to smile back. And as he grasped one of the metal door knockers shaped like a grinning lion head, he realized that the painting on the left was of a girl and the one on the right was a boy. The door flew open as soon as he knocked, and the goldfish man was face to face with a woman he scarcely recognized. He recognized her even less when she threw her arm around him like an old friend. You, she said to him, her face wrinkling in cheerful smiles. Come in, my husband will be happy to see you.
Wait, who says coming?
Well, who is it at Minley's home?
Ba.
And?
Ma.
And there's Da-Ah-Fu, the twins, on the door. It was Ma, and she's so cheery and happy. The goldfish man, speechless with surprise, let himself to be led through the gate doors. Was this the mother with angry eyes he had met in the woods long ago? Yes, this pleasant-faced woman, her plum-colored coat embroidered with flowering trees, was the same person. He shook his head in disbelief. As he glanced upward, he realized the courtyard was like a well for the sky. The stars and night seemed to flow into it endlessly. Was the courtyard built for just that purpose? He wondered. Light from the house streamed through the lattice-patterned doors, illuminating the enclosure like a lit lantern. There the father was surrounded by visiting children, whom the goldfish man recognized as his earlier customers. Some of the children were playing on the ground with clay toys of boys, buffalo monkeys, and rabbits, while others were being served tea by the father. This tea is a gift from our faraway friends, the father was saying as he handed the child a cup. They call it Dragon Well. Husband, the woman called. Husband, look who's here. As he caught sight of the goldfish man, the father stopped in mid-sentence, and his face broke into a wide smile. Ah, he cried, dear friend. And like the mother, before letting him bow politely, the father embraced him warmly. Come, the father said, have some tea. My wife will bring out some cakes and snacks. The goldfish man found his voice. I am glad to see you and your wife so happy and prosperous, he said. I only stopped to see if last time we met. How is your daughter? Minli, the father said, laughing, waving his hand toward the house. She's in the back. She will be happy to see you, but she will come out later. This is the time of night she likes to watch the moon. She returned then, the goldfish man asked. I thought she would. What happened? Ah, my friend Ba laughed again. You have come at the right time. Why do you think these children are here? They come here every night because they want to hear the story again. The story of Minli's journey to and from Never-Ending Mountain. Come sit. You can hear it for the first time. The goldfish man sat down willingly on a stone seat and found a fragrant cup of tea in his hand. The children clamored around Ba, each more excited than the last and eager for the story to begin. But as Ma went inside the house to get refreshments, she left the door wide open, and the goldfish man could not help peering in. He could see all the way through the house to the back courtyard, where the figure of a girl sat on a bench, a small pond of fish at her feet. The moonlight washed over everything like a rich bath of gold and silver, making the fish shimmer like pearls, and the girl glow with a magical glory reserved for the stars of heaven. But Minli was obviously unaware of all around her, lost in faraway dreams, for even in the misty light, the goldfish man could see her smiling a secret smile up to the sky to where the mountain meets the moon. What did you notice, Otto, in the sky there? What are those?
Dragons.
The two dragons.
Dragon.
Wait, I'll show them the picture. I know.
Right there.
There.
The end.
And
What a beautiful story that we got to share and finish together. Stay tuned for the next awesome read alouds. Hannah's going to read us a book. Keep an eye out for it.